We gotta wait for the chorus.
Your face will be the reason.
I'm just kidding.
But I will not.
Ooh, nice song.
Yeah. Anyways, Chef Sophie, how are you doing?
How are you? I'm great.
Good. Listen, thank you for being on the show. Greek food is one of my favorites, but I don't pigeonhole chefs either. And I think that Greek has elevated, to the white linen circuit, and that's something that us Latinos want to get to as well. But anyways, so talk to us a little about who you are, how you got into it, and then we're gonna go from there.
So, my dad was an immigrant. He came all the way from Greece. My parents met at age 13, which is like a fairy tale story. My dad was a florist for 25 years, and he decided to open up in Hell's Kitchen right in Manhattan, which was a crazy time back then.
Yeah.
I think I must have been 3 years old when he opened up the restaurant. It was a Greek taverna style. He became really popular, was on the news 3 weeks in for actual rotisserie chickens, which were right in the window. So people saw that, and it really drew in some traffic in the beginning. He actually passed away. Yesterday was his 8th year anniversary, but I really have something to look up to. I'm really proud of what he did, and he taught me just to take risks. So I went to culinary school. He saw me graduate. I worked on the line. It wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. I'm very creative. My mind needs to go into a bunch of different places. So I was kind of stuck for a little while. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I started a little company where I would cook out of my kitchen, and then I would drop off these little healthy meals to people. And I took another risk and started a catering company. Hired someone to make me a professional website, worked on a little bit of branding, and now I'm just teaching myself every day of, just being a grown-up and learning.
Hold on, let's go back a little bit. So you went to culinary school, you worked the kitchen circuit. How long were you working and learning before you said, I want to start my own business?
I went to work with my dad after I graduated high school. So that was a good solid year. We really put out all the fires. Owning a restaurant business, it's not just about food. It's about, being a leader, and a lot of things go wrong in a day. And it's like your own family. That's why they say, if you're going to have a restaurant, you're having a child, you're having multiple children, and you got to look out for your workers. So, I worked on the line probably for 8 months. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't for me. I can't be repetitive. Kudos to anybody who could do that. I can't. And it took me a while to find my niche in the world of food.
Okay. And so then you found it. And what's the first thing you did? Did you create because I guess you had an advantage because you worked at a restaurant with your pops, that you knew that you had to put together a menu. You knew how you to get a price point and a potential revenue. Did you think about, hey, this is how much money I want to make first? Or tell me what goes behind the mind? Because some people might want to just put good food out there. But what was your mindset?
It was just cash. It was a little hustle, just money. I just wanted to be able to have my own real cash funds. And then I was going to decide what I was going to do with it. I planned on expanding my meal prep business, and my heart wasn't fully set on it. I feel like I always change my mind and my goals. So I'm more of a day-to-day person, and I just work off my creativity. And I'm a very big manifester. So
yeah, you have to.
Law of attraction, I'm into it. I don't read on it or anything because I don't want to get too distracted by that. But I'm very religious. I pray every night. And I just try to push myself as far as I can go. And learning to tell people no, and to tell them that I don't feel comfortable doing it. It takes a lot of courage and confidence.
Yeah. When you're saying yes to everything, you're saying no to something you may like even better or a bigger opportunity, right? So you have to be really present when we take on things, even this is intentional, because obviously there's a connection through resources, through a story, and it can collaborations in the future. I think that's what COVID and this new efficiency has kind of given an opportunity. So now you started your company. How long have you had your company?
I'm probably going on 2 years now.
Nice, nice. So
It
that's
really took off during COVID though.
yeah.
I could say like this has probably been the best year of my life.
Okay.
And I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but just that's my personal story. So
For most people that are hustlers, 2020 we made the best out of it. So that's kind of like the way we want to phrase it, right? Because
yeah.
we know a lot of people suffered. Now, um, what do you think the one thing you credit your success to thriving the last 2 years and even through COVID? What's the one thing you give yourself that you've got better than anybody?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, what's the one thing that you can say back, like for me, I know that whatever I achieve is because of my relentless obsession of learning so that I can achieve it. Like I
Yeah.
really mean that I am probably more obsessive and relentless at trying to achieve a goal than most people. And I can say that, even though if it's not true, that's what I tell myself. So what's that one thing for you?
I think that everyone became so scared, and I was taught not to be fearful. So I think that it shook me, and I was like, I need to like accomplish my goals quicker and more efficient. I just think it was just like a spark of just strength, honestly. Just trying to survive, and um a lot has changed. I've personally found out, and I was talking about this with like probably two people in the past 24 hours just to see how they thought, that people's word lately, it doesn't really mean a lot. So it can get you in the door, but you really have to practice a personal relationship with people, because that's where like the magic happens. Like you can, open up about a certain subject that way and just learn more about people. I just feel like I'm more into conversation now. It's
Yeah,
just wild.
what I got out of your answer was
Yeah.
one, you're a beast at managing how to manage fear.
Yes.
Okay? And the second thing is you value relationships.
Yeah.
Uh, and relationships take time to form because like you said in the beginning, people are going to tell you who they want to be and or
Hmm.
what you want to hear, but only time can develop that full relationship. Okay, I got you. So let's talk about this. What was your first aha moment that you knew, wow, I launched this business, I'm pretty good at it?
I think so. I feel like I'm more known now for my charcuterie boards, but I've taken them each time. I try to make them better and better, and I'm trying to put them into different parts of the food world. So I think my first charcuterie board, and then the feedback, the DMs on Instagram, I think it makes you confident. It's like someone's telling you did a good job, and they can be complete strangers. It's so humbling, and it just makes me want that more. I want more people reaching out telling me you did an amazing job, because I put so much thought into them. So it's really nice. It's just
Yeah,
like a compliment, and it's just what keeps me going, honestly.
yeah.
If the internet went away, I don't know, it's like crazy how much I rely on people telling me, you did a good job. It just ignites me.
How important is social media for people like you and our viewers that have their own businesses, want to start their own businesses, want to grow their brands? How important, how much time do you spend on a day to build your brand?
Oh gosh, I get that like little notification. You spent 5 hours today on your phone. And I'm not kidding. I'm on it all day long. And lately it's been a little bit worse, but I personally enjoy it. I don't look at it as a negative. I try to be creative, and I'm probably going to be more involved on the internet because about to start a YouTube channel. So I love it. I think I really started to realize that when I had my meal prep business, like to shoot the food, show what you're doing. Um, you never know who's watching. And it's just so great. I tell all of my friends, like, just post. You have the coolest job. You have a cooler job than I do, and nobody knows what you do. It's not about showing it off. It's like a networking platform. That's like essentially what it is. And you shouldn't be scared, I was on Chopped, and I get like death threats and evil messages, but it's so worth it. Like, there's so much good that happened from me being on the show than like the internet trolls, as you would call them, you know?
Yeah, there's always going to be, listen, even if I eat a lot of baklava, there's going to be some bad effects to it too. And that's the way I look at like the social media. I focus on the good versus the negative and the trolls and the stalkers. Now, you kind of led me into the next segment. How did you get into TV?
So the producers of Chopped they're based out of New York City, so they film above Chelsea Market.
Mhm.
And I didn't even know that, but the producers came to the restaurant, and I wasn't at work that day. And they had asked the manager, "Is there anybody in here that would love to be on the show Chopped?" And I'm obsessed with that show. I used to sit on the couch and watch it with my dad. And my dad used to say, "You're gonna be on that show one day." I was like, "Of course I am! Like, absolutely!" And it was just like a groundbreaking moment for me. That was the icing on the cake that led me to so much other stuff. The Greek community really, like, I guess, ate that up because I am Greek. So I really have now I represent my culture now just from being on that show. So it's like
Absolutely.
it's a blessing. And like, now I meet people and they always say, it's crazy how your life comes full circle. Like, I used to flip pita on the grill when I was a kid, and this brand called Contos Foods, and I was there last week just cooking in their test kitchen, and I was like, I grew up like eating and cooking these pita. She goes, "Isn't it crazy how your life just comes full circle?"
Yeah.
I'm just so
Listen,
blessed. I'm so
yeah.
blessed.
Shout out to Kantos Foods because you grew up
Yeah.
and cooking there. I don't know how I feel about Goya, but at some point I'll probably have to cook at Goya. I'm just kidding. That's for the people out there who know how I feel about that. Okay, so what's the one thing you learned out of that experience on being on TV?
Um, Not to care what people say. Push yourself. And it sounds so generic, but like, once you start believing in that, like, nothing can stop you. Like, you can't and it helps you in your life, in your like personal relationships. Like, just do not be scared. I don't want to say it was a risk. I was very excited to do it. Do things that excite you. Find your passion. um if you want to be involved in the food industry, there's so many different ways that you could take it. Like, I could essentially try to be a food critic. I would love to do that. There's so many like different areas you can go in, and that's what's like great about just being like a entrepreneur, I guess.
No, you're
Like,
right. You're right. You can cook. You can own restaurants. You could have a cookbook. You could have a product line. You could be a critic. You could be a judge. You could be a TV personality. I like that. I like the fact that you feel really confident because it makes this interview a lot easier and a lot more educational. You know, sometimes I get a guest, one or two, not that many. They get like Cindy Brady in front of the camera.
oh gosh. No, I mean, like, that's how it used to be. I used to be
Yeah,
scared.
yeah.
Like, I prepared myself before. Sophia, you're so much better when you're completely yourself. Like, I'll blank out and be like, I don't know what I'm going to say next, but like, who cares? Like,
Yeah, no doubt. So that's what you got out of it, is to not be scared, and not care what people say. I like that. What can future our viewers, what is the one advice you give them that's going to help them grow their brand?
I think just from a young age, start like figuring out like what you like, not like what you like to do, not, not just a doctor, not just a chef. Like, why isn't someone saying like, something a little bit more interesting or more creative? I feel like there's so much creativity in each person, and it's crazy that a lot of people don't get the chance to explore it. Like, there should be a law, like, you have to be an entrepreneur. I just feel like the experiences that I have had over someone who sits behind a desk all day, I don't know.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
don't know.
I like that. I think people have to experience that. What it is to build a brand, what it is to be held accountable, what it is to produce something that people can say, I don't like it. That builds character, that builds confidence. So I like that concept. All right, let's do some fun questions.
Ooh.
What is your pet peeve in the industry?
Ooh. My pet peeve. Hmm. Probably like the overly excessive like emailing. I really can't stand it. There's lots of communication that needs to be had, like nitty gritty. Probably that. And then probably just getting asked to do like free things. Like, I'm not going to be getting paid for it. Sometimes well, most of the time I do say yes because, you have to. It brings you more business.
You're building relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like those are just like, things that could be better, but it's just part of the industry I'm in. I don't really know if I have a pet peeve. I would have
That's
to
good.
like think
Well,
about it more.
You're going to have a pet peeve. Now, your next question is your pet peeve in society then. Forget the food industry. In society.
Probably people that are judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
It's like serious. Like I feel like you could just feel the energy sometimes, even just from me being like through my phone. Like people that like view things and then, they don't follow you. And then it's just like, just like little stuff like that.
I got you. Did you
Yeah.
vote? Did you vote in this past election?
Yeah.
Good. I always ask people that, and I don't care who they voted for. I just care that they vote because I want to show people that we are cultural, we're assimilated, and we business minded, and we also contribute to society. Okay.
Beautiful.
So next question is, the world is ending. What would be your last meal?
Oh, I would have to cook. So I think it would calm me down. So I would, just I think it would have to be something fast because if the world's ending, maybe some eggs. I don't know. I don't know. I really just like love like I guess we could change it if I was on death row. Then I'd be like, lobster dipped
Okay.
in butter,
I like
dry aged steak. So
I actually had to rephrase that question because when I asked that to somebody who had a challenging prior history, they were like, "What am I going back to? Prison?" I'm like, "Okay, let me rephrase that." So I like that lobster and steak, but lobster and butter is just so simple. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I have one more question, but I'm going to add one in now. What is the underrated Greek dish out there that people don't know about but they should try?
it is feta cheese, but like a good block of feta cheese, like imported, comes in like the milky water. So you just slice it nice and thick, and then you wrap it in phyllo dough, which is like a thin, like pastry crust. And then you drizzle Greek honey over it and you eat it warm and it's crunchy and salty and sweet. And you can put anything else on top of it that you want, like any kind of crunch or like apricots. It's so good. So good.
What's that called?
Uh, I don't know because it's more of like a newer Greek thing. Like all of Greece has it now. It's kind of like the new obsession. Greece like does those things because
I like that.
in Greece, a lot of people don't know, but Greece only has Greek food. You can't just go and get like tacos. Like, it's just
No, I'm with
they
you.
have to be like creative in Greece. So
Yeah. I also like when I go to Nicaragua, you could only get Nicaraguan food. So I know what you mean about that. Okay, last question. 3 people, dead or alive, to have dinner with, who would it be?
my dad, they're all gonna be dead. They're all gonna be dead. And like my grandparents. I don't, I'm not a person that idolizes anyone here on earth. Like I said, I'm like more of a spiritual person. So all the good people that have passed that
Okay,
you wish you could have more time with.
I got that. So 3 chefs you'd love to have dinner with.
3 chefs. 3 chefs. Oh my gosh, like Guy Fieri, just because he's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably do like just the Emerald. I want to meet Emerald. And Bobby Flay because I just want to like see what he's all about. Like I know that they're, commercial chefs, but I would like to see how it goes.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, Battle Bobby Flay might be your next show, but anything, where do you, last question, I forgot to ask you this, so sorry for saying last. In 2
Okay.
years, where do you want to be?
Ooh. I kind of want to get in for now. This is going to change, so don't quote me on this, but I kind of want to get into rentals, like party rentals, a little bit more of like full party planning, and just expanding my brand, which it's going to be so hard to do because you got to be able to rely on other people, and I'm not good at that.
Yeah. Well, you're going to achieve that. I like that. You're building an empire with food, but it's also the experience you're providing.
Yep.
You know, Chef, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm glad that we connected, and we're going to keep on developing these interviews so that see the updates post-COVID, that you're reaching your goal and inspiring our viewers. So thank you again for giving me
Thank
the
you.
opportunity to be on the show. All right.
Thank you so much.
Cannot have forever. I'll always love you.